What happens if you truly maintain no contact? Have you ever wondered why true silence speaks louder than endless emotional conversations with an avoidant partner? Most
Huh?
people believe no contact is only about bringing someone back, but its greatest power goes much deeper. When you truly disappear from an avoidance emotional world, something unexpected quietly begins changing inside their mind. That change rarely happens immediately because their defenses first convince them everything feels completely normal. What transforms them is not your silence alone, but your consistent absence from their emotional routine every day. Today, we will explore what really happens when you sincerely maintain no contact without waiting for their return. At first, an avoidant often feels unexpected emotional relief instead of immediate sadness after the relationship ends completely. Their nervous system believes distance creates safety because intimacy has always triggered hidden fears inside them. This early relief confuses many people because it seems like the avoidant never truly cared at all. The truth is far more complex because emotional suppression often hides genuine attachment behind controlled behavior and reactions. Their mind temporarily celebrates freedom, while deeper emotions quietly remain buried beneath the surface. This delayed response becomes the beginning of everything that unfolds during true and uninterrupted no contact. As your silence continues, something important slowly disappears from their daily life without immediate awareness inside their thoughts. Your messages stop, your presence fades, and emotional familiarity begins slipping beyond their psychological reach completely. Humans naturally adapt to routines, and your availability once became part of their unnoticed emotional world every day. Only after that routine disappears does their mind recognize the true weight of what has been lost. This realization rarely arrives dramatically because it grows through quiet moments of emotional emptiness and reflection. That subtle awareness often becomes the first real crack within their carefully protected emotional walls. Eventually, curiosity quietly replaces confidence because your silence no longer provides emotional reassurance they unconsciously expected from you. They may begin wondering whether you still think about them or whether your heart has truly moved on. These unanswered questions become powerful because avoidance often feels safest when they can predict someone's emotional availability. When your predictable presence disappears, uncertainty slowly becomes more uncomfortable than emotional closeness once felt. This creates inner tension because their usual coping strategies no longer restore the same emotional balance. For the first time, they may miss not only your attention, but the certainty you quietly represented. During true no contact, memories begin returning differently because emotional pressure has finally disappeared from their perspective completely. Without constant arguments or emotional demands, the mind naturally remembers softer moments that once seemed less important. Laughter, peaceful conversations, and simple acts of kindness gradually become stronger than memories of relationship conflicts. As painful emotions fade, meaningful experiences quietly regain importance inside the avoidant's private thoughts. This explains why many avoidants suddenly remember beautiful moments long after the relationship has already ended. Their heart slowly notices what their defenses once worked so hard to ignore. Another powerful change happens when they realize your emotional energy no longer revolves around their unpredictable behavior anymore. For a long time, they assumed your emotional availability would remain, despite repeated emotional distance between you both. True no contact quietly removes that assumption without anger, revenge, manipulation, or dramatic emotional reactions. That peaceful disappearance often feels more unsettling than confrontation because nothing remains available for emotional control anymore. Instead of chasing your reactions, they face complete silence, reflecting their own choices every single day. Sometimes that reflection becomes impossible to ignore because it reveals consequences they never expected. As weeks continue passing, reality slowly replaces imagination because your absence begins feeling increasingly permanent every single day. They may notice your life moving forward successfully without their involvement, creating unexpected emotions inside themselves. This realization challenges the belief that they would always have unlimited time to reconnect whenever they felt ready. That comforting assumption slowly disappears because your peaceful growth continues without needing their approval anymore. Loss becomes real when opportunities quietly disappear beyond easy emotional reach forever. Many avoidants first recognize love after realizing access to it may never fully return. Some avoidants eventually reach out through casual messages, shared memories, or innocent conversations that seem completely harmless. These messages often sound relaxed because expressing vulnerability still feels emotionally overwhelming for many avoidants inside. Instead of admitting they miss you, they ask simple questions, hoping emotional connection naturally returns again. Their approach often tests whether the emotional door remains open instead of revealing everything they truly feel. This behavior does not automatically mean lasting personal growth has already taken place beneath the surface. Real change always requires consistent emotional responsibility instead of temporary loneliness or fear of losing someone forever. Meanwhile, something extraordinary begins happening inside your own emotional world, while true no contact quietly protects your peace. You slowly stop measuring your worth through someone else's inconsistent affection or emotionally unavailable behavior anymore. Your confidence begins returning because healing creates stability that constant uncertainty could never truly provide. Instead of waiting, you rediscover forgotten dreams, healthier relationships, meaningful routines, and genuine happiness once again. Ironically, this transformation often becomes the most attractive quality an avoidant eventually notices from afar. People naturally recognize authentic confidence because it cannot be imitated through temporary emotional performances alone. The greatest purpose of no contact has never been forcing someone into love through silence or psychological manipulation. Its real purpose is creating enough emotional space for reality to replace fantasy on both sides completely. If an avoidant genuinely grows, they return differently because accountability becomes stronger than fear inside them. If they never grow, your healing still becomes one of your greatest personal victories after heartbreak. Either outcome protects your future because your happiness no longer depends on another person's emotional struggles. That freedom is the greatest reward waiting at the end of sincere and unwavering no contact. Remember this whenever silence feels painfully difficult and you want to break your healing journey today. Every day you maintain healthy no contact, you strengthen yourself more than your painful attachment to them. Whether they realize your value or never understand what they truly lost remains beyond your control. What always stays within your control is protecting your peace and choosing emotional health over familiar pain. Sometimes the person who changes the most during no contact is not the avoidant standing far away. Sometimes the greatest miracle is discovering the stronger, wiser, and happier version of yourself.